Welcome to our panel. Yes, have a big applause for Zach Brown, famous McLaren CEO. Normally it should be a panel, but unfortunately Haydar is not here today. Haydar Rafik is the global chief marketing officer of OKX. So apologize for that. We will have a fireside chat with Zach. Welcome to Abu Dhabi. There's a full house.
There is. It's great to be here. This is a spectacular final race of the year and has been for many years.
How do you feel being in Abu Dhabi? I mean, there's a race and there's a finance week, it's a crypto day. And which one is following which one? Is it a race is following the financial markets or vice versa?
Well, we'd like to think the money follows Formula One. So, no, you know, it's great. When we're around the world, there's quite often conferences that coincide with the Grand Prix. I think a lot of that is the Grand Prix bring in quite a lot of executives, a lot of corporate wealth, a lot of government wealth, a lot of individual wealth. So it clearly is a good forum to bring together a lot of people that have common business interests.
Okay. Zach, you have one of the most commercial successful F1 teams, and why did you choose a crypto partner as the primary sponsor when you can choose so many different categories? And also you partner with OKX. Why OKX?
You know, we're in the technology business. OKX and crypto is a technology business. I remember the first time I saw the internet in the early 90s was in Detroit, in an IndyCar race. And this gentleman showed me the internet on the computer, and I thought, you're crazy, this thing's never gonna take off. So I'm not gonna make that mistake again and recognize that, especially with technology, how quickly industries emerge. You know, the Ubers of the world. I remember the first time I came across Google was actually at an event like this and was, you know, who's Google? And so I think the crypto industry is huge. It's new, it's young, it's emerging. And so ultimately why we picked OKX is I think like when the internet came, everyone got in the internet business. And some people made it, some people didn't. And then companies like Amazon emerged out of the internet. And so we felt we were deliberate with as many crypto partners as there are in Formula One that we wanted to, like with our other companies we're associated with, the Googles, the Goldman Sachs, the Dells, that we're affiliated with who we believe are the leaders in the industry. And so ultimately we selected OKX because we had quite a few approaches. And at the same time, OKX was deliberate in their entry into Formula One. Kind of our partnership is one of the more recent ones to join because, you know, everyone wanted to get comfortable with each other, do their homework, and it's been an absolute great partnership this year and many more years to come.
Since you said you are interested in crypto, I want to ask, I mean, there's too much volatility in crypto industry, and also I'm coming from banking background. I was a fund manager. There's volatility in financial markets and it's a stressful job. But your job is also stressful, I mean, managing the cars, and is there a similarity between these markets and your job, managing the stress, the education?
Yeah, I think, as we all know, the world is a pretty volatile place at the moment. Pick an industry, whether it's the financial markets or crypto or the tech space. And yeah, Formula One is a high-performance culture. If you sit still, you're going backwards. So you need to, you know, be an aggressive in how you tackle challenges. It's a lot of fun because it's a competition at the end of the day. No different than in business. Everyone's trying to beat their competitors. And you know, I think the key is getting individuals and people that embrace pace of change, embrace stress, and use it as a motivator. So you know, I think you'll find in the racing industry, it's a very high performance culture. Can be very stressful. You have hundreds of millions of people that are watching you perform, you know, every week or every other week, and that has to be something that you're a person where that motivates you for success.
There are lots of different parts. There is the technology, there's the pilot, sponsor, team. And when you think about these ingredients, which one is more important, or do you make a mix of them?
It's all important, and I think that's what makes Formula One teams and sporting teams successful, and companies for that matter. Everything's important, and everything's about incremental gains. As soon as you get into a mindset that something's not that important, then that kind of becomes the culture that you create, which is some things are important, some things aren't. When you're trying to beat the competition, everyone in their role, we have 1,000 people on our Formula One team, all 1,000 people need to beat their counterpart at the other racing team, and then you have a very high-performing culture. So it's very important. It's very important the technology you use, but it's very important the people, and that you have the right structure and the right goals that are set out. And you know, in racing, you lose more than you win. So losing also has to be something that motivates you, because there's been one guy who's won the majority of the races this year. So the rest of the field, for the most part, has lost more than they've won, and that has to be something that drives you forward to get that thrill of victory.
I want to talk about a bit about the future. In future, let's do forward thinking. Will the avatars race? Will we race in metaverse? What do you think about future of Formula One?
I think the future of Formula One has never been stronger. We have more countries than want to host race than there are weekends in a calendar. We're now going to be going to 24 races next year. We could do 27 or 28. We won't, but we have demand for that, which is a great place to be. We have new television and media contracts. Things like Netflix have been fantastic. Sponsorship in our sport has never been stronger. Every race is sold out. So kind of every metric of Formula One is very strong, and I think it's only going to get stronger because we have things like Las Vegas coming. That's going to create a ton of excitement for the sport. We have new television contract in North America. New sponsors coming in very frequently at this point. So I think there's a lot of reason to be very optimistic for the future of Formula One.
When I read your career, you have a background from racing. How does it help your current career? I mean, when coming from racing and your day-to-day business, is it easy job?
I think having once raced as a racing driver, you learn how to give instruction, give feedback. You learn how to take instruction from engineers and teams and listen. You have to be a very good communicator. You have to drive by instinct. You drive by data. You have to surround yourself with a great team. It's 1,000 people that produce the race car, and in Formula One, you're only as good as your race car. And I think if you look at what a CEO does, it's the same exact qualities. You need to be good at giving instruction. You need to be good at receiving feedback. You need to make data-driven decisions, but you do need to make decisions. You need to know when to take risk and not hesitate and kind of go for it. You need to not be afraid of taking risk. So I think there's a lot of similarities from being a racing driver to a CEO as far as, you know, how you conduct yourself.
A personal question, I'm from Turkey, so will Istanbul be again in the racing team? Do you like going to Istanbul? And also crypto is very big in Turkey. I mean, what's your opinion about this?
I'd love to go back to Turkey. That was, we had a great history there. Then the race went away. Then when COVID happened, that was one of the circuits we went back to. Yeah, it was a great race last time around. The drivers really like the track in particular. It's a driver's track. I think it's a great market. It's very important for a lot of our partners, OKX, very, very much so. So I'd love to go back there and I think we need to get to a point where our calendar, we're racing 24 times a year, but maybe we're in 30 markets and you kind of have 18 races that are permanent and then you rotate through others. Things like the World Cup, the Olympics, they don't happen on an annual basis. So I'd love to see us in 30 markets, but 24 times a year and get into some sort of rotational system.
Last question is always about Abu Dhabi and the race at the weekend. What's your expectation? Shall we see McLaren at the top again in future?
We're definitely going to see McLaren on top again in the future. It's going to take a little bit more time. We have a new driver lineup, or a new driver next year in Oscar Piastri. We have some technology infrastructure we're still getting built, specifically a new wind tunnel and a new simulator. So I think we're a couple years away before we're challenging for the championship again. We won Italy last year, so we are progressing nicely, but it's a tough competition out there and takes a bit of time to catch up. I think this weekend will be a super exciting race. Last year was maybe a little too exciting for a certain couple teams out there. There's a big battle for second in the Drivers' Championship, so I think that'll be something to look at. And then any time kind of everyone has nothing to lose means everyone will drive very aggressively. So I'm anticipating an exciting race this weekend.
Okay, we want to say good luck to you, and we'll follow McLaren. Thank you, Zach Brown. A big applause for Zach.